Hello, my name's Ekua Bayunu. I am an artist and activist based in Manchester. My work is about people. It's currently immersed around women. It's beginning to focus on African heritage women, and that's in the light of the need to heal post-COVID, to heal in the light of the resurgence of passionate feeling, the Black Lives Matter movement, the murder of black men by the police, the tasering of black men, the impact on African heritage communities, people, women, children. I think that's going to really impact on the space and on my work and on my politics going forward. I'm making a 3D letter L using materials that you can find around the house: masking tape, sellotape, insulating tape, PVA glue, paper, sticky labels, toilet rolls. Everyone should hold on to toilet rolls. There was a moment when they were quite precious, or at least what was wrapped around them suddenly became a commodity. Anyway, let's make that the theme. We're going to use toilet rolls. This workshop's an encouragement to just have a go and experiment. So this is where I keep my recycling, my ordinary household recycling, but this box is for things that I think might be useful. So there's a lot of card, which I try and keep in an orderly fashion. I've got a salt container, little bits of foam that come in packaging, bubble wrap, joyful bubble wrap. Oh, this was something insulated. I don't know what came in this. So all of this can make amazing things. And I just encourage you to store it. Hello, so now we are in the workshop part of this film. I did talk about them. We know what these are, toilet rolls, and I've got a whole massive collection. I'm going to make a hole, so I'm holding it firm so that I can, choose a knife with a sharp point. It's very useful. And just very slowly cutting round. There we go. Beautiful. If you can see, I've sealed down this shape, so I get that sort of shape so that it will fit neatly onto that. I'm going to basically build up an L with my toilet roll, so I need to be able to stick them in a bit of a column. We've stuck them all together. I'm now going to use using labels to make the joins more secure. The artist that I am wanting to talk about and look at, and who's inspired this workshop, is Pearl Alcock. She is what's known as an outsider artist, which is a term that I find quite interesting. What does that mean? I think primarily it means two things. Either that you don't come from traditional white middle class background, art school educated, or if you are from that community, it means that you haven't had a formal education. But I don't think it always means that, which is why. But it might be not a formal education recognised in this country. So Pearl was a woman who came to her practice later in life. She didn't go to art school. She was a Jamaican woman living in Brixton, and she was self-taught, and I think she was looking about how she could mark a friend's birthday or other occasions in people's lives, and couldn't afford to buy a card. Had always loved drawing, and as a young person back in Jamaica, and thought she would make her own, and found that people really liked it, and a practice developed from that. So her work features in the collection of outsider artists at the Whitworth. It's mostly figurative and landscape based. Her figurative work really reminds me of Lowry. That might just be a subjective opinion, but it's something you can have a look at. So as you see, I'm just continuing to cover the upright bit in the white labels. You could, if you didn't have sticky labels, you could, I've got kitchen towel or any other type of white paper. Let's trim it off. Lovely. And it stands up. So I'm going to start with my Sharpies, permanent markers actually, and I'm just going to do some really nice freehand marks on this. That's what I really like about Pearl's work is the sort of looseness and joy of her line making, her mark making. So I'm just going to, you know, the free flow. I love how she's very free flowing. You can do a head, you can do arms and a neck. And it's weird because I'm actually going to do this as the back of a person. Just a really simple person from the back. And then what I'm going to do is on the other side have their face showing through and use that line to cover it. You can do what you like. This is where it's totally up to you. Just a really simple person from the back. And then what I'm going to do is on the other side have their face showing through and use that line to cover it. You can do what you like. This is where it's totally up to you to work with her very free-flowing and colourful lines. I'm going to have these two figures working into my sort of free-flow landscapey thing. So I'm just going to go in between my lines, choosing what's going to be the paper that will take the pastels and what I can leave with the... Oh yes, that was a sensible. No idea what the work that we do as artists in the background before we come to a workshop. I'd do all this and I'd be perfectly on top of it and I'd know exactly what I was doing. But this gives you a different insight into my practice. And I think how probably a lot of artists work. So really at this point for me, it's you decorate in whatever way inspires you, with whatever artist inspires you. But a lot about how I'm shaping and working is sort of in response to Pearl's work and the way she works and the way she does lines and this sort of simplicity. Lots of bright colours, that's the thing about Pearl's work. Good, strong colours. And the felt tip, the permanent marker, has a texturing all of its own that I really like. So you get this sort of rough texture to it. And I'm going to bring in some eyes, maybe some features. Nothing much, just enough so that you can sort of work out where it's a face. So when you're completely happy with the drawing that you've done, just cover the whole thing in a coat of PVA and that will seal it all in place. And here we have the L.